Okay, so the first line that I'm going to graph is already written in standard form. 2x minus 3y equals 6. And because it's already written in standard form, I would probably choose to graph it by finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept. When your line is already in standard form, particularly one like this, where the coefficient of x and the coefficient of y are both factors of the constant term, then it's a little bit easier to go ahead and find your x-intercept and y-intercept. Remember, to get the x-intercept, I plug in 0 for y. Okay, so that makes my new equation 2x minus 30 equals 6. Well, here's where it gets so easy, is that if I have 3 times 0 here, it's just 0. And I really don't have any particular reason to even write this. It's almost like it just disappears. I'll leave it there, but in the meantime, plugging in 0 gives me 2x is 6. Divide both sides by 2, and I get x is 3, which means I have an x-intercept on the point 3, 0 on my graph. And I'm going to indicate that by making a dot on the x-axis at 3, 0. Now to find my y-intercept, I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I'm plugging in a 0 for x. I'm plugging 0 for x, which is kind of like making this whole part of my equation, instead of 2 times x, it's 2 times 0. It's almost like that disappears. So I've got 2 times 0 minus 3y equals 6. And again, this part basically just disappears because we don't have to run a 0 there. 0 minus 3y is just negative 3y. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y is negative 2, which means I have a y-intercept at 0, negative 2. And I'm going to go on the y-axis to negative 2 and make a dot there. Now I do want to point out that there's a very good reason that to find the x-intercept, I plug in y equals 0, and to find the y-intercept, I plug in x is 0. That reason is every single point on the x-axis has a y value of 0. Like, for instance, the point negative 4, 0, or the point 5, 0, or the point 8, 0. Every single point on the x-axis has 0 for the y value. So asking about where is this point, where would the point be on the x-axis is the same thing as asking which point has a y value of 0. And that way we can find our x-intercept. Same thing goes for finding a point on the y-axis for our y-intercept. The y-intercept is the place where your line crosses the y-axis. So that means it's going to have an x value of 0 at that point, just like every other point on the y-axis. Every point on the y-axis has an x value of 0. So if I'm asking, where does my line cross the y-axis, I'm also asking, where does my line have an x value of 0? So that's why this works. But once I have the two, the x-intercept and the y-intercept, which I already have here, here's my x-intercept and my y-intercept. Once I have those two drawn, I'm basically just drawing my line by connecting those dots. Now I would make sure I used the slope of the line to help me draw a straight line. In other words, I can see that this goes up 2 when it goes 3 to the right. So I would continue doing that. Go up 2 and 3 to the right. Up 2, 3 to the right. It's the same thing as saying that my line from one point to the next goes down 2 and 3 to the left. So I can do that as well. Down 2, 3 to the left, down 2, 3 to the left. And so on. That helps me make sure I'm drawing a straight line, or as straight a line as possible. And there's my line.